Thanks so much for joining me today at Everyday Yoga. My name is Christine, and I am so glad that you're here. We are going to do a short yoga practice, maybe 15-20 minutes, something like that. And we've got a chair at the one end of the mat, which I'm calling the front. And that is going to be our support for this practice today. And we're going to do some sun salutations, which typically involve getting down into a lunge, getting on the knees, using the wrists and the hands, the fingers, but we're not going to do that today. We're going to pretend that the seat of the chair here is the floor. So rather than coming all the way down to the floor, we'll simply come to the chair. So go ahead and face your chair. I'm going to face you for just a moment, but face the seat of your chair and find your mountain pose, rocking gently back and forth on your feet, maybe lifting the toes and spreading them out wide, and then maybe coming to the toes and lifting the heels just a little bit. Maybe not even lifting anything, but just kind of rocking back and forth until you find that place where you're perfectly balanced over your feet, neither too far forward or too far back. And we'll just open up the arms, letting the palms shine forward, letting those shoulder blades come down the back. Letting that tailbone be long, thinking about this tailbone here, imagine somebody's got a string on it and there's a little weight at the string. So that's drawing the tailbone down, and then maybe that string is coming from the top of your crown. So we're all nice and stretched out, as much space as possible in between every single vertebrae. And once you've found your nice mountain pose here, we're just gonna take a few breaths, taking your awareness to your diaphragm. Right here underneath the lungs, just above all the inner organs and everything, we've got that diaphragm, the muscle that moves up and down. And when it moves down, allowing the inhale to happen, it expands and pushes downward and comes into kind of a smile shape. And when it comes up and presses all the air out, it kind of is like the top of a hot air balloon, or maybe like the top of a jellyfish or something. So just bring your inner awareness to that diaphragm here. That's so powerful that it pushes all of those organs down and out as you inhale. And then it presses all of the old stale air out as you exhale. And just imagine that inner smile happening, and that inner inflating or puffing up of the top of the diaphragm, maybe like a jellyfish, just kind of floating in there. Inhaling into a smile, exhaling into a jellyfish. Whatever makes sense to you. I like inhaling that smile. It's like my own little inner smile. We'll just find 3 more of those breaths here. Really taking your awareness to that diaphragm, maybe even almost being able to feel it. I mean, why wouldn't you be able to feel it? You can feel your feet, you can feel your hands. Maybe you can feel that diaphragm in there, moving up and down with every breath. When you've found your 3 breaths facing the seat of your chair, let's just come back to a regular breath. And as we do, we'll inhale those arms up towards the sky, bring the palms together, and exhale, hands to heart. Then take the hands down and inhale them down and around and up again, up above the head, and bring the hands down to the heart. And then this time let's follow the hands down with the gaze and look up to find the hands as they're overhead. Just getting a little bit of movement in the neck as we continue this arm motion. And this time we'll bring the hands down to the heart. Let's inhale the palms up above the head. And as we exhale, we'll turn the palms out and down, hinging forward at the hips, coming all the way down to a forward fold. Now your forward fold, if you like, you can come all the way down, or you can come down just as far as the seat and rest your hands here. Whatever feels good in you. And then we'll inhale, pressing into the chair, straightening the arms, coming to a flat back. This is our half forward fold, keeping the chin tucked. And then we'll exhale to fold. Then let's go ahead and inhale back up to a half back. Bring the hands to the hips and inhale, coming all the way back up to our mountain pose. Let's inhale the arms up to the sky. Exhale, swan diving down to the chair, placing the hands on the seat, coming into your forward fold. Inhale to a half back. And then this is going to be our tabletop here. So we do cat-cow a lot on the floor, on hands and knees and tabletop, but this can be our tabletop. So let's inhale cow pose, dropping the belly, drawing the heart forward. And exhale cat pose, rounding the back and drawing the belly button up towards the spine. Inhale cow, head and tailbone lift, belly drops. Exhale cat. You can be having your hands directly on the seat or maybe holding the sides of the chair if that feels better to you. And we'll just find one more of each. Inhaling cow. Exhaling cat. And this time let's roll back up one vertebrae at a time. Inhaling the arms up and overhead, bringing the palms together and down to the heart. Go ahead and release the arms, palms shining forward, coming back to your mountain pose, reestablishing that connection to your feet. Let's inhale the arms up and overhead. Exhale, swan dive, coming into your forward fold. Inhale halfway to your flat back. And then let's exhale and step one foot and then the other back to plank pose. And then we'll push the hips up and back, coming into downward dog. And you might want to step forward with the feet so that your heels can be pressing down onto the earth, or maybe a little farther back. And really find that mountain pose that in your back body, drawing the shoulder blades down the back, letting that tailbone be nice and long, tucking the chin, lifting the heart. And then let's step or walk forward to your forward fold. Exhale to fold. Inhale halfway up. Exhale to fold. And then begin rolling up one vertebrae at a time. Inhale the arms up and overhead. And exhale, hands to heart. We'll inhale back up overhead, exhale forward fold. Inhale halfway, flat back. And if that plank took you by surprise, I bet you surprised yourself and did it because we've got this chair. So let's do it again. Coming into our plank and then pressing back into your downward facing dog. Stay here for a full breath. And then you can walk, step, or hop back to the front of the mat, coming into your forward fold as you exhale. Inhaling to a flat back. Taking the hands to the hips and with a nice straight back, hinging up into your mountain again. This time we're going to do triangle pose. Taking your time to get here, we're going to turn to face the long edge of the mat. Triangle pose, you kind of end up having warrior two legs. So we're going to step the feet out a little wider than hip width. And as you do this, especially when we're taking care of knees, but always as a practice in yoga, you want to have these outer edges pressing into the mat. So notice here, if you're rocking inward, that can put a lot of strain on those knees. But if you're pressing into the outer edges of the feet, that creates more stability for your knees here. So we're here in our superhero pose. The toes are pointed towards the long edge of the mat. We're just gonna turn the toes closest to the chair towards the chair. And we don't want to hyperextend this front knee, so keep a little bit of a micro bend here if you're prone to that. And then let's inhale the arms out to the side. So this is almost like warrior two, but warrior two is with the knee bent. Triangle, the knees are straight. We're going to reach forward with that hand closest to the chair. And then as you inhale, we're going to tilt the body, bringing the bottom hand to the chair seat and lifting the top hand towards the sky. This is your triangle pose. Remember, keep that micro bend in the front knee and kind of rotate the heart open. So like visualize that you've got two pieces of plexiglass, one in front, one behind, and you're kind of sandwiched in between. So you want that nice flat back here, if that makes any sense. Reaching those top fingertips up towards the sky, maybe looking down at the earth, maybe looking out in front of you, maybe looking up towards the sky, pressing into that outer edge of the back foot, nice and strong, engaging the support around the knee here. And notice what you feel in that left hip. Oh my gosh, my hips love triangle pose. You can stay here for a full, as many breaths as you want, but time is of the essence. So the next time you inhale, think about really preparing those core muscles here to help you up. So as you exhale, draw that belly button in towards the spine, engaging all of those nice strong muscles to protect your back. And then we'll inhale, tilting all the way back up. Let the hands come down to the hips, point the knees to the long edge of the mat, and maybe just shake it out a little bit. That was a big, big stretch. And then I'm gonna move my chair so you don't have to look at my butt. Well, actually, it'd probably be good for you to look at my back body just in case so you can see what I'm doing here. So my butt's gonna be on the internet. So we're gonna flip to the other side, toes pointed to the long edge. And then we're gonna turn those toes closest to the chair towards the chair seat. Let's inhale, drawing those arms out level with the shoulder blades, kind of drawing those pinkies back toward one another so that the shoulder blades are squeezing towards each other. Keep a nice soft bend in that front knee and really press into that outer back edge of the back leg. We'll inhale, drawing those front fingertips forward, kind of letting the hip come back. And then bring the palm to the chair seat as you lift those fingertips up towards the sky. Again, your gaze can be down at the floor, out in front of you. Ultimately, you want to be looking up towards your palm, keeping that heart rotated forward. So we're not looking down at the earth here, but we're drawing that top shoulder back, opening up the heart. And then think about how great this feels on that top hip. Really focusing on everything that feels good about this. Pressing evenly into both feet. even as you lift the fingertips up towards the sky for this sort of a simultaneously grounding and uplifting experience. And then we're going to get ready to come out of this. So as you take your inhale, be mindful on the exhale that you really engage those core muscles, drawing the belly button towards the spine. And then we'll inhale back to standing. Bring the hands to the hips, the toes to the long edge of the mat, and come back into your superhero pose. Take a breath here. Inhaling through the nose, maybe exhaling out the mouth with a nice big sigh. That felt good. I love triangle pose. It's one of my very, very favorites. But we're going to go ahead and end today in mountain pose. Again, reestablish that connection of your feet to the earth, scanning upward into the ankles with your mind's eye, maybe closing your eyes, letting that soft bend in the knee happen. And really keeping those hips nice and level over the knees, letting that tailbone be long as the crown stretches towards the sky. Coming back to that smiling jellyfish breath. Inhale that diaphragm down and open, lifting the corners into a smile. And exhaling, allowing the diaphragm to float upwards, squeezing all the old air out of the lungs. Let the shoulder blades be heavy, let the heart be lifted. Invite yourself to just stand in your full presence here today, knowing that you did something good for yourself. You took some time to take care of yourself. Self-care is healthcare. And then let's inhale those arms up and out to the sides, bringing the palms together overhead. And exhale, hands to heart. There's a chant in yoga, Sanskrit chant, that's the Shanti mantra. Shanti in Sanskrit meaning peace. And in one of my yoga practices, we chant it 9 times all together at the end of class, and it goes, Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. We say that 9 times, and then we say Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. What it means in English is, may all beings everywhere be happy and free. And may my thoughts, words, deeds, and actions contribute to that in some way. May I have contributed a little bit to something good in you today. I know you have for me. Namaste.